Welcome back. This is my first time doing predictions for the MLB season. With the season starting tomorrow as this is uploaded. With a lot of change, this looks to be an extremely competitive year for every division. Young teams coming up, and just the offseason additions and all. Injuries and everything. This year looks to be an incredible year, just like every year. So I'm going to go division by division and then give my AL winner, NL winner, and then World Series winner, and then awards. Not Gold Glove, just like MVP, rookie, and I think that's it. Let me look. Yeah. So first, we'll start with my favorite team's division. I'm an Orioles fan, so we'll start with the AL East. At the bottom, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. I think them and the Blue Jays, who I have next, can be kind of interchangeable. And then the top three are kind of interchangeable as well. So I think the Rays, they're not going to be bad, but they're not going to be as good as the other three. Same with the Blue Jays. And then I have the Yankees, Orioles, and Red Sox. The Yankees, they lose Garrett Cole, Luis Gil's hurt. They have no pitching, right? Then Stanton's hurt, and then LeMahieu's hurt, which whatever. It's just an injury-plagued year for the Yankees. So unless Judge can carry them, they're going to struggle for the first part at least. Then I have the Orioles. Same thing, a lot of pitching injuries and just not really an ace. Gunner's hurt to start the year. He'll be back very soon after the season starts. But Kyle Bradish hurt. Grayson Rodriguez is hurt. And it got to the point where they're signing Kyle Gibson. So, and then the Red Sox top it all. They have the Garrett Crochet signing. They have Chapman, Bregman. They look to be very good. Then on the AL Central, I have the Royals winning, Guardians, Tigers, Twins, White Sox. Royals, I think, are going to build off a great season last year. And I think the Guardians take a little bit of a hit, not much. They trade Josh Naylor, and I don't think they really... It's hard to replace him. I know he wasn't like the best of players, but he was still a really decent player for them at first base. So, you also think like the relievers, they had such a great year last year. They're not going to have a historically good season again. They're going to take a little bit of a fall. And then the Tigers, I think they're just going to go back to where they were last year, kind of. And Twins and White Sox, I think the Twins are going to be good. The White Sox are the White Sox. Then the AL West, I have Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Athletics, Angels. I was really struggling deciding where to put the Athletics because they made a lot of signings. Of course, they signed Luis Severino and then re-signed Lawrence Butler. I think they extended Brent Rooker last year, but they extended him. They look like they're ready to spend some money. That's what I'm trying to say. So if they can continue doing this, they're in a new ballpark, so Brent Rooker's able to hit more out. I think they're going to be good this year, just not to the level they need to be to make the playoffs. But I have the Astros and the Rangers topping the division out, just like always, except for last year where the Rangers were hurt all season. So in the AL, I have the MVP being Bobby Witt. He was second, I think, last year, maybe third. I think it's going to come down to him, Aaron Judge, and Gunnar Henderson. And I think Bobby Witt's going to get the edge because Gunnar starts the year on he's hurt. And then Judge is not going to be on as good of a team. So Witt would get, and he's going to have a heck of a season too. So I think him and Henderson are going to have about the same season for shortstops. Just Witt's going to get the upper edge. And then the NL, I have in the NL East, I have the Phillies, then Mets, then Braves, then Nationals, then Marlins. The top three really are really good teams. It was really hard deciding. Mets made a bunch of additions, like Juan Soto. But I think the Phillies get the edge. I think the Phillies are just so well-rounded, other than the back end of the rotation, that they will come out with the first spot in the division. But it's going to be really close. Marlins, Nationals are still young. I think they could be good in a few years as long as they keep their guys, make the right signings, make the right trades. But, Dylan Cruz, James Wood, they're going to be really good on the Nationals this year. And the Braves, Ronald Acuna coming back midseason. Austin Riley will be healthy all year. Matt Olson's had a rough season last year, but not bad. He'll be better this year. They look good. They just need a catcher. Sean Murphy's hurt. They have the rookie coming up. If he plays well, they're bound to have a good season. In the NL Central, I have the Cubs, the Brewers, the Reds, Pirates, and then Cardinals. This division is all mediocre, right? The Cardinals, I think they are, lo and behold, like the worst team in this division. But the rest of them, other than the Cubs, which I think like they made like they traded for Kyle Tucker, which I think is a really good trade. I think that puts them over the edge. In fact, the rest of the teams are just young. The Brewers, Reds, and Pirates, all three are super young and all could have really good seasons or fall back to earth. Like if the Brewers had a really good season last year, like they did, they could fall back to earth and be the 4. But I have them at 2. I think LA can't carry the Reds enough to be higher than 3. And then the Pirates' rotation issues with Jared Jones being hurt and really just being Skeens versus everybody puts them at 4. And then NL West, I have the Dodgers, then Diamondbacks, then Padres, then Giants, then Rockies. So, I mean, the Dodgers, they did exactly what they needed in the offseason. They spent money, more money than anybody else did. And I think it's just going to help them throughout the offseason, throughout the season. They have depth. And then the Diamondbacks, I think they were really close to making the playoffs last year. I think do I have them making the playoffs? I think I do. Yes, have them slotting at the 6th seed. I think they bounced back from not even disappointing, just a really tough season last year. It was really close. Padres, I think Manny's he has a lot of wear and tear on him. He's been in the league for 12 years now. And then the Giants, they don't really have any, like they lost Snell. They don't really add anybody. And then the Rockies, it's Coors Field, and they just traded Nolan Jones, and I don't understand that. But I just don't think they're going to be good at all. And then for the MVP in the NL, I have on his walk year Kyle Tucker. I think he's going to have one of the best seasons he's had, obviously, if he is going to be the MVP. But I think he's going to be absolutely insane. He's going to help the Cubs make the playoffs. I have him at the 3 seed and winning the division. So I think Kyle Tucker will walk away with the MVP award. Rookie of the year, I have Jackson Jobe in the AL and then Dylan Cruz in the NL. Jobe is one of the trendy picks, but he's so good. His pitch mix is extremely well. It's so nasty. He's got good fastball velocity. He's got good just movement on his other pitches. And Dylan Cruz played well last year when he was called up. I think he's going to be a great rookie this year. And then Cy Young, I actually didn't have those written down for some reason, but I have Cole Reagans on the Royals. Cole Reagans is a dog. He scares me a little bit as an Orioles fan. I think he's going to be a dog. His fastball did tick down a little bit last year, but I mean he's still one of the best changeups to combat that fastball. So it's really hard to hit against him, obviously. So I think he's due. I think he's due for a Tariq Skubal kind of breakout. He's up there. I think he's 27 years old. It's about his peak. I think he's going to have a heck of a season this year. And then the NL, I mean, it's hard not to go with Paul Skeens. I think he was second in Cy Young last year, maybe third. But he had a heck of a season last year. I think he's just going to overdo it. He's going to do it again and bet better. Because like the Dodgers, they have a lot of the good pitchers, but they're all going to be on like 8 days rest because they have so many. And Zach Wheeler, he could definitely get it. I think Zach Wheeler or Paul Skeens is the 2 guys I think could win it. All right, and then AL champs. You know, I've really been high on the Royals, and I have them in the World Series. The first year back to the playoffs last year, I think in a decade last year, maybe 9 years, and they win their first series against my Orioles in a sweep, and then put up a good fight against the Yankees, and that was their first season as a young team. And I think they're only going to get better. Bobby Witt's only going to get better. Pasquantino's only going to get better. My only issue is they have struggles at the bottom half of their lineup. And I think if they make a few trades at the deadline or just throughout the season, they could shore up that the lineup, and it would be it'd be a nasty lineup. And then out of the NL, I have the Phillies. Every year, it's like the Phillies are due for a run, and they flame out in October. But I think they're gonna do this year, make it the World Series again this year. Second time since 2022, or first time since 2022. Second time in the last 5 years. But I think the Phillies come through. Zach Wheeler's gonna have a heck of a season. As I said, maybe a Cy Young. I have him in second place. And then Bryce Harper's gonna have a year. Trey Turner's gonna have a year. And I really like their just lineup. And then in this series, I think it's going to be maybe a 6 or 7 game series.
Sailing away from Morrow.
I have the Phillies winning.
An impossible catch.
Bryce Harper plays a big part in this. I think he
Goodness.
wins World Series MVP.
Tip your cap, Cole Irvin. Tip your cap, everybody. Cedric Mullins, insane in center.
You're kidding me. There's no way he can get to this ball. He's saying the
1-2 from Chris Sale.
Both have really good
reaching for this. It's in the same
Just
spot on the left field line that Bell's ball went, but this time Kelnick gets to
So
it
that'll do it
and
for my
makes a
2025
spectacular diving grab.
I wanted to get it out before
Arcia threw it over the head of Olsen as Berger scrambled back, but he'll stay
to summarize
at
it a
first.
bit,
What a
MVP
play
Bobby
and
Witt
left.
and Kyle
We've seen his
Tucker.
arm.
Rookie
He's
of the
shown it off a
Jacksonville
couple of
Bill
times
Cruz,
so
Cy
far.
Young, I have
This
Reagans and Schemes. And then World Series matchup.
again to center, and again down for a hit. Carpenter's going to try for third. Buxton's throw is there, and Farmer applies the tag, and he's out. So Carpenter tried to go to.
We shall see how this goes. And thank you guys
Popped
for
up,
listening.
Encarnacion Strand.
Please like, comment, subscribe.
Spilling into the roll-up tarp, and he makes the play. What a glove by Christian Encarnacion Strand.
I think he
really
just mouthed that
First
owl.
vote for opening
That's
day.
a great play
And
right
I'll
there.
see you guys next
Navigating
time.
that tarp.
See ya.
Got to